Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The beauty of the NFL draft is that it's like a giant buffet, the kind of buffet that Jarrett Carlin dreams about because it feeds everyone. It's a rare stretch of the football calendar where all 32 teams feel like winners. And it's no different in Arizona, where the selection of Walter Nolen adds even more depth to a defensive line that was really suspect last year, especially on the interior. But today, that D-line looks formidable and dangerous with lots of intriguing options and rotational possibilities. Now, Nolan is also perceived as a boomer bust player. Nick Saban went so far as to question his every down passion and his love for the game. And in that regard, it's not what you expect from a regime that so values culture and professionalism and self-driven players. But Jonathan Gannon ignored all those scouting reports and trusted his own gut when it came to Nolan. He said he was a Cardinal 1,000%. And if you watch the video, you can see the head coach already has great love and a great connection with the incoming rookie. In other words, the player the Cardinals see is nothing like the one described by many analysts, and many teams have been burned like this before, seeing what you want to see in a player saying what you want to hear. But we do know this. The culture is really good in Arizona at the moment, and the addition of Calais Campbell puts the perfect wise old owl type mentor in that D-line room. And for a team that has lost 35 games in the past 3 years, there's a distinct feeling that the Cardinals are ready to make a push and ready to make things right.
I mean, the thing that stands out is violence. This is a guy who plays with a high motor all the time, and you know, playing in college ball, it's different where there's a high volume of snaps, and for a guy to be in there and play as violently and aggressively from the first quarter through the fourth quarter, I mean, that's impressive to see. And so, just the high motor, the disruption, the violent nature, those things stand out. Just the way he finishes plays.
Is there a plan? That's Monty Ossenfort, the GM of the Cardinals, on our Arizona Sports Draft Extravaganza show after the pick was made and after the press conference last night. We'll hear from Walter Nolen today. He'll make his first appearance in Arizona at the Cardinals facility after being the 16th overall pick. But is there a player right now that's been drafted to this point who's got more of a range on whether or not he goes hard every play or not? No, Walter Nolen. I mean, Nick Saban didn't. Nolan started out at Texas A&M, so he was an SEC guy, played 1 year at Mississippi. But you hear Monty Ossenfort talking about the motor always burning, loves the game, plays every play, but then there's the other side of the spectrum that says like people like Nick Saban. When he wants to play, he's dominant. It's kind of a curious evaluation.
It really is. And the Cardinals put out a great bit of a war room video where Monty Ossenfort is making the call to Walter Nolen, and then Michael Bidwell gets on the line, and Monty and Michael are both very happy. But when Jonathan Gannon gets on the phone, his face lights up, and they're communicating like they are already very, very close. It really is striking. And so Jonathan Gannon is really trusting his gut on this one. And the football player he called a Cardinal 1,000%. That's quite a phrase.
Yeah,
that's too many percent.
That's a lot of percent.
It's a lot of percent.
Walter Nolen himself joined a conference call with the Arizona media after the pick last night and talked about some of the things that were maybe negatives on his ledger that he wanted to address with the Cardinal staff in this process.
Just know that I don't love football, and I'm not a good teammate, and just all the negative things that people try to make come up during this process. But like I said, the Cardinals took a chance on me, and I'm blessed for that. I can't wait to get there.
Yeah, and the Athletics Beast draft preview from Dane Brugler, they point out, and you brought this up earlier, Walter Nolen played at 4 different high schools, 2 different colleges. So
the Amari Stoudemire approach.
The last 7 years, he's been part of 6 different football teams, 6 different programs.
Yes.
So they pointed out the interview process was going to be crucial for him. And apparently he knocked it out of the park because the Cardinals are over the moon with this pick.
Yes, they really, really are. And again, if you see Jonathan Gannon's reaction in the press conference and in that video that the Cardinals have distributed, he's very, very happy. And there, listen, there are people, there are big boards out there that have Walter Nolen the best defensive tackle out there.
Sure.
And so the talent is there, and I know the violence is a big deal to this regime and a good part of his game. I hope it all works. I do think in so many ways the addition of Calais Campbell is going to pay off in more ways than him just adding, what he brings to a football field.
Yeah, here was Monty Ossenfort talking about that, not specifically Calais Campbell, but how the veterans can help a rookie like Walter Nolen, who's only 21 years old.
Well, I think, anytime, whether it's in that room or, I think that's why we put a big priority on the type of people on this team. And so, JG and his staff do a great job of laying out expectations and how we do things, but the firsthand knowledge and watching their peers work is that there's no replacement for that. And so, we have a bunch of veterans on this team, not just in that room, but in the entire locker room, that, anybody that comes in this organization, has no choice but to, see that, absorb that. And that's why we put such a high emphasis on the type of guys that we bring in this organization.
Now, I know you said this yesterday on our show.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that came up also on the draft show last night, Bick, that your optimism on the Cardinals and what they're doing from a roster construction standpoint and in the draft, you were of the belief that they're in a position, regardless of who they pick, this is going to be viewed positively by the fan base, and it's going to be some fuel moving forward. You still feel that way?
I do feel that way.
I do too.
Yes, I do. I think that there's so much confidence in the head coach and now the general manager that I think the names that come out today and the names that come out Saturday, I think they're all going to be well received. If the Scadaboo thing, if that dream comes true, it'll go over the top and over the moon. But I think regardless of that, they're in a real good spot. There was a time during – how many times are you going to yawn today, Jarrett? Sorry, man.
We got to set the over-under.
Yeah, it's way more than 2.5, way more than quarterbacks in the first round. We really couldn't be boring you that much, could we?
No, it's nothing to do with boring.
We
It's
could
doing
be.
Tiredness.
I know. We're all there.
And I have a deviated septum. I breathe through my mouth. Sometimes big breaths like that.
All these years we're just finding out about your deviated septum.
Wow. Okay.
Too much party in there.
I think that's part of the
college days there, Jay.
All right. So I didn't mean to sidetrack myself. What were you talking about? Oh, yeah, the Cardinals.
Hell if I know.
No, the Cardinals and how this thing is going to feel on Sunday morning. There was a time in free agency where I think people were like, hello, when are you going to spend some money? When is that salary cap space going to start, vanishing and being replaced by real football players? Then the day that Dalvin Tomlinson got waived and it was signed instantaneously, and then the Calais Campbell thing, and then you step back and you're like, okay, Monty Ossenfort did what he wanted to do, and that was put together a football team capable of playing an NFL game before the NFL draft even arrived.
Mm-hmm.
And he accomplished that, which I think not only gave him options, but it also I think it really has put the fan base in a really good place.
Yeah. Jonathan Gannon was asked at the press conference last night too. How do you feel about your defensive line?
We got guys that, obviously I would say the guys that have been here, obviously they have a role and they're going to be competing for their roles. Everyone's in that phase right now of the season. We're all competing for our roles, but I think that we got a couple guys that can play different spots. They all have their own skill set, and I feel really good. We added some quality pieces. We got guys coming back who I think have really high ceilings that can help us win, that have shown that they can play winning football for us. And then I'll add Walter into the mix and see where it's going to go.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.